Good morning, everybody. This is Jean here. I'm going to be doing a tutorial today on this little thing I've made. It's not a pot holder as such. Gift giving season, you want something little. We've gone over it, yada, yada, yada. Something that takes you 20 minutes to make for somebody. But this is a really unbelievably sweet little mug rug, candle mat, for a little centerpiece, large coaster. But I don't know if you notice, it's like textural. It's almost like origami. The way it's constructed is so absolutely awesome. You're going to love it. What I've spent, about 10 minutes on my tutorial, probably longer, is how to actually make the hexagon template or pattern that you need to make this little mug rug. Having said that, you can go on Amazon or wherever your local quilt store or order it. There's I think it's like a Dritz template. I think they're between $23 and $30, something like that, for an actual plastic template. And I thought, you know, I wanted to make these. I saw it in a magazine or something, and I'm thinking, oh, I want to try to make that. And I thought, I don't want to necessarily spend another $30 for another ruler. I might, because, well, no, I actually don't have to, because I actually made this. So what I did is, it's sort of like origami. I found out how to actually make a hexagon. Hard. I messed up so many times. I'm trying to figure it out. But anyway, I found somebody. I made a paper pattern, you'll see, and then I made this one. Oh, don't comment, because as I'm cutting these my squares out, I did start slicing off my cardboard. There's little slivers going. No wonder that it didn't turn out quite really well. I don't think that would happen with a plastic template. Anyway, it works. It was slightly wonky, and I addressed that, actually. It's not perfect. Remember? It's not perfect. I'm not perfect. 8 10-inch squares to make, 8 10-inch squares to make these. That's all you need. Well, it's a lot, actually, isn't it? I've got 8 10-inch squares to make one little thing. But it's really cool. It's not padded. They're not padded. But it's thick, because you have 6 10-inch squares right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then you have one for the back and then one in the middle. Real interesting how to construct it. In fact, there's one seam. You cut your stuff after I waffle on about how to make this silly thing. But you need it. You can't make it without this or without your ruler. So I'm trying to save you some money, but go buy the ruler, because this was a pain in the butt. But anyway, after you cut out 8 10-inch squares of an hexagon, and then all you literally do is fold 6 of them and stick them on the back 2, and then you make one seam and then a little bit of top stitching. Unbelievable. They literally will take you 10-15 minutes to make one after you get it down pat. And I really like these. I made quite a few. This one has 6 different fabrics, as does this one. 6 different fabrics. I made a couple of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different fabrics. This one only has 3 different fabric ways, if you notice. This one I made only has 2. Has 2 different fabric ways. This one turned out a bit smaller. Oh yeah, that's right, because I messed up in my thing. I admit it, I messed up. And the seam, something didn't catch in the seam allowance, my backing. So the next one I thought, oh, I'm gonna overcompensate. I made it a bit smaller. It doesn't really matter. It's cute. It's cute. So, however big they turn out, I think this is the one I'm doing a tutorial on. Is this one? And actually, there's my template, and look, it turned out. I'm really proud of them. And you will be too, because people are going to go, what in the world is that? It's like origami. That's what it is. It's origami. But I was thinking about, like, what do we do with these things? But like mug rug, obviously for a present you can make like one maybe in masculine colors and put get a guy's nice sturdy mug. I don't know, stick it in there and make it as a present. Or I actually have tea parties, believe it or not. I don't look like I have a tea party, but I do have tea parties. And actually these are the colors, this is more the color of my dining room. So if I would have a tea party, I mean, how sweet for, like, you know, you have your little, well, it's making noise. You have your little place setting, and then everybody has a little one, whatever. But then I was thinking, and I went shopping in my house. This is stupid. This is miles too big, but you get the idea. Like you can make like a little centerpiece with it, and then have that on there. What's good about this, believe it or not, because there's no seam. There's no big knot of seam in there. This is just folded fabric. It's amazing. You can actually put a wine glass and it doesn't rock back and forth at all. There's no knot, there's no big seam in the middle. And that's really, I think, really nice. Or you could get a candle for a little candle mat. Oh, this is a battery operated candle. Go figure. Like, isn't that amazing? It's battery operated. You turn it on and off. But maybe that's a good idea. Because I had kids. I wasn't a candle person because my kids would have burnt the house down. So when I found these battery operated candles, I'm like, that is so cool. So yeah, so like a little candle mat, mug rug, little. I guess you could put batting in it. You could put batting in it, I suppose, in the first two steps on the inner layer, and have it as a hot, like a hot plate, like a trivet. Yeah, you could do that. If you want to do that, you could. It'd be a bit thicker around the edge, or, you know, maybe don't take the batting all the way up. But you'll see in the construction how this is actually made. So like I said, this is the one we're doing, a little origami type of folded little mug rug. I've included instructions on how to make this thing. I would think maybe you want to just buy the template. Because I think once you start making them, you're going to make a lot of them, because they are so cool. They like makeup. You have a nice hot iron, because you have to iron these pieces, but I tell you that. So anyway, that's my little tutorial for today. I had something else to say. What was I going to say? I was going to say something. Oh, I forget. Anyway, I'll come back to it. Okay, folks, I hope you enjoy this little tutorial on our little origami folded mug rug. Thanks, folks. Bye. So first, what we have to do to make our little mug rugs here, our little folded mug rugs, which to actually make are so simple. It's literally one seam. Again, reinforced and a little bit of top stitching. Unbelievably easy to make. But what we have to do first is we have to make a hexagon pattern. And this is how I ended up my hexagon, with tons and tons of experiments. It didn't work out, but I've made one out of card. But what you're going to be needing for this little project, it's a bit of origami. Before we start making our little things, we need to actually collect these bits together. By all means, if you want to go out and buy yourself a 10-inch hexagon ruler, as I was saying, that's brilliant. But I'm thinking I'm going to save myself 20, 30 bucks, and I'm just going to make myself a hexagon template. And what I started out with, what you need is you're going to need tape and a ruler, a pen, and a rotary cutter, and a pair of scissors that you don't mind cutting paper and card with. I found that the easiest. I have tons of them, so I'm using these. Also, what you're going to be needing is I used 2 pieces of white copy paper. I think it's 8.5 by 11, just 2 pieces. That what I did is I actually, to make my 10-inch square, I actually taped them together, front and back, just to make my 10-inch square. And then I used my, to make my actual card template, I actually used 2 pieces of card. These were my comic book board cards, so I just used them. Did the exact same thing. Tape them together, front and back. And this is what I have. This is what I've come up with. I have my piece of card ready to be taped on each side, ready to have my pattern, my hexagon shape pattern traced onto my card. So out of the 2 pieces of 8.5 by 11 copy paper, I have made a 10-inch square. As you can see here, it's a 10 10 by 10 inch square, okay? You might have wide paper, but all means what you're going to need is you're going to need a 10-inch square of paper to start your origami pattern, as it were. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. I'll try to go slowly. What you're going to be doing, let me see if I'm in camera range here. Yeah. What you're going to be doing is, try to do it this way for you, is you're going to take your piece of paper, and it's a square, and you're going to fold it in half, matching your corners up like that, and crease it very much. Then you're going to take it in front of you with the fold line here, and you're going to fold it in half this way with the raw edges over here. Fold right in half. You're going to open it up. Now you're going to fold the raw edge here, the fold here. You're going to fold this raw edge up to the center fold line. And you're going to crease that very, very much. Then you're going to open it up. Now you're going to bring the paper, I'm in front of it here, so you're going to bring the paper in front of you. You have your fold line there, your fold line there, your open edges. What you want to do is sort of holding this center point here, or being aware of that center fold line. We want this edge here, this corner here, to come down to about here on this fold line here. So what we're going to do is we're sort of going to hold this here, and we're going to fold this from the fold. We're going to fold this fold line down to that point right there. So it's, I hope you can see that, it's that fold line there to that creased line there. And then holding it, excuse me, we're going to crease this edge right here. Really good. Crease that edge really, really good. So that just folds over like that. That's where it should be, that point. Okay? Now you're going to turn this over. So this is like this. Then you're going to shift it in front of you. So your fold, the corner is up here, and this paper is here, these two raw edges. Now what you're going to do, aware of that crease there, you're going to bring this fold line, this folded piece here, over to here, to this fold. So you're just going to wiggle it up, fold to fold, here, sort of like a kite. And you're going to crease this edge right here. Crease all your folds. Now you're going to end up with a piece that looks like this, with these flaps here and these flaps here. Now with your pen, you're going to come along and you're going to mark where this fold line is. Just put a little dash there underneath, right there, and just continue it around the other side where that little fold line, where that little line is there. And then you're going to do it the same way. This little fold line is here, right there, and then we're just going to come around and it's right there. Now what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to join up that pencil line, the pen line there, and that pen line there. And we're going to cut off this excess material here. Now, my rotary cutter probably won't cut through the paper, so I do have a pair of scissors, but I'll get my line at least. So we're going to mark up that little pen mark and that pen mark. Oh, maybe, oh, it did. And then we're going to open it up, and hopefully it works. Ta-da! We're going to open this up. Yeah, look, you get a hexagon. I hope you guys appreciate me. I made so many hexagons. I screwed up so bad, but then I found on YouTube, I'm plagiarizing, a lovely lady who made this, and I thought, I'm not spending 30 bucks for a stinking ruler. So anyway, there's my hexagon. So now, easy peasy, I'm going to transfer onto my card. I've already done one that I've made these with, but for demonstration, I'll do another one. So I'm going to take this. What I like to do actually is I like to, with the long pointy sides, okay, you have two pointy sides on a hexagon. I like to fold it up and just see if it's nice and, yeah, if it's nice and straight there. And then fold it in half. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. I mean, they turned out really beautiful, and my other one was like this. So now all we're going to do is, I just start at the top here. I put my pattern onto my card there, and then with my handy dandy ruler, I'm just now going to, because this one's already done, I will just, hopefully you can see that, I'll just mark my pattern onto my card with my pen and my ruler. Maybe you want to do this with even colored paper so you see it. Yeah, you don't have to do it with colored paper. You can see it. But if you want to, because it's white on white, it's fine. Or it may not be. Do it colored paper. I don't care. Anyway, so there you go. So here is my pattern, my template for my hexagons. Now I'm going to just cut this out. Actually, maybe I'll try. I don't know if my rotary cutter will cut through this. Let me see. Oh, look, yeah. Oh, wow, it is sharp. Okay. Oh, that looks a little bit. Oh, what did I do wrong? I didn't do anything wrong. Oh, I'll see if it works. Yeah. I'm saving money, but who knows? I'm going to probably screw up. It should work, but it looks a little bit weird. Oh, what the heck? I just saved I just saved myself 30 bucks, but it looks like a little bit. Oh, it is. It's a little bit more funky. Now, what happened, Jean? Oh, come on. Oh, no, wait a second. This is... Oh, I didn't mark it properly. Oh, I didn't mark it properly. Oh, geez. I got to make another one. Oh, well. Yeah. Yeah. This is good and this isn't. And I don't know what I did wrong. Oh, well. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, this one's good. So we'll use the one I used to make up for these. Yeah. So this is perfect. So, yeah, actually, yeah, you have to be careful when you're making this. These points here are the most important. Yes, this point here and this point here is the most important. See, that works. I don't know what happened there. Anyway, or go buy yourself a ruler. Dritz rulers, I think they're at Joann Fabrics for 30 bucks. Anyway, I'm doing this one. Yeah. That I made these on. It wasn't too bad, was it? Now what we're going to need 10-inch squares. I've chosen my 8 squares. You're going to be needing 8 10-inch squares for this project. This is our pot holder or our hot mat or whatever it is. You're going to need a backing fabric. You're going to need 6 fabrics that you like to make this sort of folded origami bit here. And then you're going to need like a foundation piece. So what I've chosen, my 6 fabrics, my 6 10-inch squares. I have 3 blue that I've chosen for here, and then I have 3 pink that I've chosen that will show. I have my backing, which is just a solid pink 10-inch square, and then I have my foundation that I'm going to put my folded bits on. So you can take your what am I saying, Jean? Oh, so take your, I can do 3 at a time. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be cutting out of our hexagon, we're going to be cutting out the 6 bits here. We're going to be cutting them all out, but I'll show you how I do it. So I was looking at my hexagon thing, and I don't know what's funky because each bit is 5 inches. It's 5 inches, so I don't know. This was the one I did. So anyway, I'll start at the top there. And as you can see, our hexagon template just goes right to the edge of a 10-inch square. So what we're wanting to do is we're going to be cutting out we are going to actually do 8 hexagons to make this. Put this there. So I just did 3 at a time. And I'm going to be cutting out, I'll come back because I'm going to cut out all of these. I've cut out all my pieces, my hexagons, and what I have is my foundation piecing and my backing. Now it's very important. Oh, and what I've done is with my 6 pieces that I've chosen for my pretty front bits, what I've done is I have folded them in half with the square sides together, the points at the right and left. So you want to fold these in half really nice and go and press them, iron them really well. And then what I've done, if you're going to be doing a staggered, you know, one color, another color, one color, another color, I put them in line like this so I keep myself in order. So I have my 6 folded pieces there. I have my foundation and my backing. Very, very important, or you'll get really messed up, like I am wont to do. You want to take your foundation piece, and you want to make sure that you have the square edges here and the points to the side, okay? You want your largest points out here to the right and to the left. That's your foundation piece. You want to then take your backing, it looks a bit crazy, you want to take your backing piece and put it on top, pretty side up, okay? So you want the wrong side down. Now, very, very carefully, if you mentally want to mark these, each side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, by all means do that. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take number 1 folded hexagon. Number 1. And if you see, point to point. Number 2, this is the raw edge. Number 2, here, you want your square. Number 2, point to point. That's a little bit, yeah. All of this will be taken up in the seam allowance, so if they don't really match, it's okay, really. So number 2, number 3, I'm pulling, and there's my number 3 square, my line, and then point to point, number 3. All we're doing is laying them on top of each other. This is number 4, my square edge, point to point. Look how they're coming together, folding. Now number 5, this is my number 5. Here's my number 5 area, right? This is my number 5 square. I put that on there, and what you want to do with number 5 is you now want to pull it back and lift up number 1 piece. Okay, we're just going to bring number 1 over here. We're just going to lay number 5 under there and bring back number 1. Okay, now we have one more, number 6. Number 6 is going to go here, point to point. Now we're going to hold it. We're going to bring back number 1 and number 2. Number 6 is going to scoot under number 1 and number 2. Bring them back and fold number 6 over, point to point, and then fold back number 1 and number 2. And what you have here is 6 pieces of your pie. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, all we're going to do is we're going to go over to the machine and we're going to start at one point. I do more than 1/4 of an inch because there's so many pieces here that I want to make sure I catch all of these edges if your pattern is cut a bit screwy. If you have, maybe if you've bought the Hexagon plexiglass perfectly factory thing ruler, it's probably your edges are going to probably match up beautifully and you can do a 1/4 inch seam. But I err on the cautious side and I'm going to do probably a little bit more than 1/4 inch seam, and I'm going to literally start at the one point, go down to the next, raise my foot, come back down, stitch all the way around. And I'm going to do that on all 6 sides, finishing up. And I'm going to go around twice, as you know me. I want it to be substantial. I want it to hold this seam because there's a lot of fabric on this piece. There's like 6, 7, 8 pieces of fabric. So I just think I want to go back and I want to reinforce it. And I'm going to show you how I do that. I've brought my little hot pot, my little whatever it is, mug rug over to my machine. And I'm going to be doing a little bit bigger than 1/4 of an inch because I want to make sure all of these pieces get caught in. And with cutting, it might have been a bit screwy up, my screwy up. So I'm just going to start. I'm going to back stitch. I'm going to start along, just start stitching a nice long straight stitch to this point here. You can hear that it's quite a lot of fabric. Needle down, I'm going to turn it, and I'm going to come along here. This is quite a lot of fabric. So these don't have any batting in them. And I guess you could put batting in them, but man, they're going to be real thick. And you know, like, they're not necessarily like a pot holder. I'm using these more of like a mug rug, something decorative. Trying to keep my hands out of the way. Whoops. Lift that up. You can hear my machine. It's not struggling. Your machine won't struggle, but just go steady. Push that under. And then come along to here. And I'm going to just go, and I'm going to go over this again. This stitching. Just to make sure that I have everything secure. It's literally one seam, like, oh my word. The folding and the ironing and the cutting out is where you really have to be careful. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to carefully, I'm going to cut each corner, just so when we go to turn it, it's actually easier to get these points out. Don't cut the stitches off, just cut those corners where that corner is. And now, see if it works. Let's just turn it inside out. You've got to put your fingers, your thumbnail up there, your fingernails on each one. There's a lot of fabric here you got to turn out. It's a bit of a, you're thinking, what is this? All of these folded pieces get turned. It's easier if you go from, like, see the backing. There's one point, and here's another point there, and here's another point. Oh, look what happened. Yeah, look, my backing didn't get caught in. Yeah, I'm gonna show that. Like, my backing did not get caught in that stitching. And that's why, yeah, that's why I'm going to go back and I'm going to do it a little bit wider. I'm not perfect here. I'm going to show you. I just saw that my backing at one point, right there, did not get caught. So what I'm going to do actually, I'm going to come from this side. Like, this is so professional. I'm going to come from this side so I actually catch that bit. Do you understand what happened? These are all secured. These are all secured. You can tell. My foundation is secured and my backing is secured. And of course my pieces are secured. But for some reason, this piece here of my batting and my foundation is much smaller. It shifted. So I'm going to go back. Now this is pretty good. My backing is good. I'm just going to go back and reinforce. Because I don't want... See, that's why I said I didn't really do it half an inch. I should have done it maybe even wider. So hopefully that's okay. I'm going to go back and do where I messed up. This will happen. And you'll go, what the heck? So I'm going to go back and hopefully I caught everything. You're working with like 8, 9 layers of fabric here, and it does shift. So I don't know. So maybe it'll turn out. If not, oh well. I can put the cat bowl on it. Anyway, let's try again. So here we go, folks. I'm going to push these points out. Hopefully my backing is caught. I mean, you know, it's a mug rug. But we want it pretty. So far, so good. Bring these out. Because that's the most important part. Your backing has all been caught in. Yeah, there we go. See that? So I would suggest, actually, having done that, I would suggest actually maybe like even a little bit, maybe it'll make it a bit smaller, but a little bit more than half an inch. Really. Put your fingers in there because you really want to get that all the stuff in that seam. And there, when you push out all your points real nice, they will push out. Look, there's our little hexagonal mug rug. Isn't that sweet? I mean, like, it really doesn't take long at all. Just be careful. Yeah, I would do that. Do that like a good half an inch. There's my backing. Look. Oh, these threads. Isn't that sweet? Now, what you could do is you could, like, quilt it all the way around. Like, you could go, you know, maybe in... But I'm thinking that defeats the purpose of it. So I would usually just iron that, as you know me. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you. I'm going to go in, again, a good half an inch. Put my bottom thread up because I want the backing to look nice. And it's pretty good. And I'm just going to top stitch it. I'm just going to do a nice row of top stitching along here. Sort of that way. Come along here. And this way, if you do it like half an inch, you don't get all that, you know, mess of seam there also. Layers and layers of fabric. There we go. Just top stitch that along. So it's not quilted as such, but it looks a little quilted. Tuck that under there, and then come along my last stitching. So there is my little quilted mug rug. 3-dimensional origami. It's pretty cool. People go, how'd you do that? That's so cool. So there you go, my little hexagon origami folded hexagon mug rug. So just be careful, like, don't screw up like I did. Make that, when you're stitching it, you know, that raw seam, make it like a good half inch. You want to get all that stuff in there. So there you go. Hopefully I've shown you just a few. You can make them in all sorts of different colorways. You know, you can make them bigger, I guess, if you learn how to make a big hexagon. I don't know, or maybe placemats or whatever. But this is for 10-inch squares. I like my 10-inch squares. I'm sure you could do them smaller for coasters, but that's a heck of a lot of work for a little coaster. It's not a lot of work. I mean, look, to sew it is easy, but to cut out, if you use your hexagon ruler, you've just eliminated like 10 of my unnecessary steps. So by all means, go buy a hexagon ruler and make these. They literally take a few minutes. One seam, no, just folded fabric. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, folks. I quite like them. I think they're nice. All right, thanks everybody. Bye.